Hello and welcome to Keepsales. In this video, we are going to look at a feature on Keepsales called stock transfers. Now, before we go into the software, we want to first and foremost look at what stock transfer means to a retailer. For businesses who have multi-shops, and not only that, for other businesses who move inventory from their warehouse or their stock to another shop, the principle of stock transfer is that you are able to transfer your inventory to another shop or shops and be able to track the inventory movements digitally. Now, this feature is really helpful for retailers who would want to keep track of all items that go to their clients in other shops or their own sub branches. So again, in Keepsales, we have the stock transfer feature that is able to help you monitor your inventory movement from your shop, warehouse or location to other clients. Now, under stock transfer on Keepsales, we are going to look at the following steps involved in stock transfers. Now, these steps or stages in stock transfers include one, that is creating a consignment, how to create a consignment. So we are going to look at what a consignment is, and then the second step is adding products to a consignment. Then we move on to the third step, which is saving your consignment. Then a fourth step, which is how to process your consignment. Then a fifth step or stage in the stock transfer process is how to now finally send your products after the consignments have been created. You now send your products to the next branch. And then the final stage is how the next branch is going to receive the consignment that has been sent over. Okay, and also at each step or stage of the stock transfer, we'll be illustrating how what is going to happen to the user's inventory, okay, in this video. So let's begin by first going to click on main menu. Okay, we are getting ready to initiate the whole stock transfer process, so we click on main menu. Now, after we have clicked on main menu, we go to stock, and then under stock you locate stock transfers, and then we click on stock transfers. Okay, so this is the stock transfer page. Okay, so to help us illustrate this better, we are going to transfer inventory from one branch of this shop that we are using in this video called Keep Enterprise to another branch. Okay, so I'm going to open the interface of the other branch so we better understand the process involved. Okay, so for illustration purposes, let's just imagine that I'll have to create two different shops at the same time. So the first shop that we are going to use to create the consignment to send to the other shop is Keep Enterprise, which is right here. And the next branch that will be receiving our consignment is Keep Enterprise branch 2. Okay, so let's take note of these two. Okay, so we go back to our stock transfer page. Okay, so now our first step is creating a consignment. Okay, so now a consignment is simply a batch of goods we are going to send over to the next branch. Okay, so to create a consignment on the stock transfer page, we will see a new consignment tab or button at the top right corner. We click on new consignment and this pop-up appears. Okay, so we have to enter a reference name and then select a destination outlet for the consignment. So you can use any reference name. You can just say let's say August goods. Okay, and now for our destination outlet, okay, we'll be using Keep Enterprise as the branch 2 interface to receive our products. Okay, so when we are done with this, you just click on create consignment. Okay, so now you receive a message that the transfer consignment has been created and has been successful. Okay, so what we do is now we want to check out our consignment, so we click on check out consignment. Okay, so we are brought to the edit transfer consignment page. Now this is where you are able to create the consignment that you want to do. Here is where we select the goods that we want to send over to the next batch. Now you notice that on this page, okay, so let's take note of this. It says here that all stock quantities added to the consignment at this stage will not be immediately removed from your inventory on hand. Okay, so what it means is that this is not the final step to the creation of the consignment. So in this particular stage, nothing will be deducted from your main inventory, or no changes will be made in your original inventory until this whole process is done. Okay, so now when we look at the consignment details here, we are given the ID number, and then you realize that there's this information that says ready to add product. Okay, so you can also notice the reference code name that we chose, the source outlet, which is Keep Tech Enterprise La Paz, our destination outlet here, which is Keep Enterprise Branch 2. That's where we are sending it to. And then over here, we are made aware of who initiated this. Okay, so this is very important if there are a number of admins that have the power to create consignments, so that at every point in time you know who created the consignment and then who sent the consignment. Okay, so now let's get to action. So first, we want to select or choose the product that we want to send over. So let's say we want to send over a laptop, let's say 5. You can change the quantity from 1 to 5. Okay, now let's select another product. So select another product, you click on where you selected the product for the initial item. Let's see if we can select any product at all. Okay, so let's just say we want to send over the smartphone. Okay, we only have one in stock. Okay, so now let's select a third. Okay, so here we have the Acer laptop which we want to send, we have the NASCO smartphone which we want to send, and then let's just say we want to send over some shoes, 180 CD shoes. Okay, so it appears here that's for our third item, which is the shoe. We can alter the quantity to 5. Okay, so I think 3 items will do. Okay, so now we are actually in the second stage of creating the consignment. So here the second stage is adding products to the consignment, which we have done. So we have added 3 items to our consignment. Okay, now when we are done, okay, our next step is saving the consignment. Now this is very important when you haven't completed the process, or you haven't fully decided yet on the items that you want to transfer. Maybe something came up, or you'd have to continue with something else and then return back to the whole process again. So there are these 2 features, which is save and then continue later, or you can continue and review. Okay, so let's say we want to go back and then later continue what we want to do. So you just click on save and continue later, and then we receive our success information which says it is done. Okay, so now when it's done, okay, you can always go back again. So you click on main menu, you click on stock, and anytime you go back to stock transfers, okay, so over here, this is the item that we wanted to send. Our reference is stated here, that's for the org goods. Okay, initiated by, the details is also given here, and then your source outlet, your destination outlet. Okay, now since we haven't sent it, so sent on, under the sent on column, it says not sent down here. Okay, so when we go further, nothing has been received yet, so we don't have those details yet. So now the important thing here is the current status, or the current status, which says pending. Okay, remember we saved this consignment earlier, so this particular status is pending. Okay, so now we move on to our next step, okay, which is processing of our consignment. Okay, so after you have saved it, now we want to revisit it again and then process that consignment. So when you go to stock transfers like we did, now under action to perform, the action to perform column, you see a button called choose. So you click on choose. Now when you click on choose, there are three options that appear. You see the view products, you see edit consignment, and then delete. Okay, so view products is just you wanting to have a view of the item that you wanted to send over. Edit consignment is just in case you want to make changes. So let's click again on edit consignment. Now once we have clicked on it, okay, we realize that all these items that we wanted to send are here. So let's say we want to make changes to what we did. Okay, so you can, let's say we want to change this to 4. You are able to do that. And let's say we want to add on a fourth item, let's say a phone. Let's see if I can have, okay, so we have the NASCO smartphone here, okay, which is our other item that we want to add. So let's say we want to send over 10 of these. Okay, all right, so now when we are done with this, okay, now you click on continue and review to move on to the next step, okay, of the whole process. So now you receive a message which says that your consignment is ready for review, and then the items to be transferred have been deducted from your current inventory and are not available for sale. Okay, this is very important because we are transferring item from our inventory to another branch, and so the items in our inventory that we are sending to the other branch are going to get deducted. Okay, so when we are done, we can review the consignment details, have an opportunity to go through the things that we selected. Okay, so you realize that the consignment details here changes to ready to be transferred. Okay, so it means that we are ready to transfer all these items here to the other branch. Now again, you can decide to edit further if you notice any particular error or you want to add more products to the consignment or to our next so now we are moving on to our next step, which is sending products to the other branch. Now don't forget, we created two branches. We have two branches that we are using for this illustration, the Keep Tech Enterprise and the Keep Enterprise branch too. Okay, so that's the destination outlet we chose, and so we can click on send products to Keep Enterprise branch for acceptance. Okay, so now a message appears asking whether you are ready to transfer the products. Okay, so then there's a message that there's a sort of like a caution that says that this action cannot be reversed. So please, you make sure you are transferring all the right products and quantities. Now this is very important, so that you always make sure that you are actually sending the right quantities and the right products that you intend to send to the other branch. So you can either cancel if you are not sure and you want to go back and clarify, or you can click on initiate transfer. So we are sure that these are the items you want to transfer over, so we'll just click on initiate transfer. Okay, now whilst when that is done, another pop-up message comes to say that the products have been transferred successfully, and then it's awaiting acceptance at the destination outlet. Okay, so with all this, we have been able to cover 5 of the very important steps, which is 1, we were able to create a consignment. The second is we're able to add the products to the consignment. Okay, so the consignment is the batch of goods that we wanted to transfer. Now we added these goods that we wanted to transfer to the next branch. The third step that we have been able to cover is how to save the consignment. Okay, if you have to do something else and come back to it later, you are able to save those consignments. And then the fourth, the next step that we have also covered is how to process consignment. So when you revisit the consignment again, the next step after saving the consignment is processing the items to be sent over to the next branch. And now we have just successfully sent our consignments to the next branch, which we just did. So over here, you are able to fetch a transfer note. So let's click on the transfer note, and then we receive a receipt. Okay, it's in a PDF format. Okay, so we receive a receipt of the consignment that we want to transfer. Okay, so all the details are listed here, so you can either print it or download it, whichever step you want to do, whether to print it out or to download it for references and for accounting, for accountability purposes. Okay, so we are not going to do any of that. So if you want to print it, you just click on the print icon over here. Okay, and then you are brought to the print interface, and then you just click on print, and then that is done for you. Or you can just cancel, or you click on the download button, which is over here, to download onto your PC. Okay, so now we have successfully been able to transfer our consignment. So now we want to move over to the next branch. Okay, so now we are imagining that the next branch, there's somebody at the next branch who is going to receive the consignments from our branch that we processed and sent from. Okay, so let's close this, and then let's go over to our Keep Enterprise branch 2. Okay, so in this step we are going to look at how to receive a consignment or the product. Okay, so again, you go to main menu, you click on main menu, you locate stock, and then you click on stock. You scroll down. Okay, we see stock transfers here. You click on stock transfers here. Okay, great. So now we are reviewing this, okay, under the next branch. Okay, I think we are still operating under the first branch, so we'll have to switch over to the second branch. Okay, yes, again, so the Keep Enterprise branch 2 is the branch that is receiving our stock, our consignment. Okay, so when you go to stock transfers, okay, these are the details that we have. So the transfer ID, which is stated, we are told who initiated this process, where the consignment is coming from, and we obviously know the destination, which is coming to us, and then we are also told when it was sent and by whom, and then but we haven't received it yet, so this place is indicated as not received yet. Okay, so when we look at the current status, okay, when we look at the current status, it says awaiting your reception. Okay, so we move to the action column, the action to perform on this particular consignment. We click on choose. Okay, so you see the choose button, we click on choose, and then under choose, you realize there are 3 options that appear. So you can either view the product here, or you can inspect the consignment which is coming to you, or you can also fetch the transfer note as well. So let's click on inspect consignment. Okay, so after you have clicked on that, the consignment details stated here that is awaiting your reception. Okay, so we get to know the reference code, name, the source outlets, that's a Keep Tech Enterprise, destination, and all those. Okay, so now over here we have the items which we are receiving. Okay, so the product name, so then we can look at the table, and then the product name, we see the product name, the batch number, the unit cost price, the unit selling price, the quantity transferred, and all that. Now you can make some changes on here. Okay, so we are getting ready to receive the items. Okay, now you can decide to make changes to these. Okay, we realize that for the item named shoe, it didn't come with a cost price. So if you have an idea of what the cost price is, you can just make the changes to it and select a cost price for it. Okay, now that we know the quantity that is being transferred. Okay, now we have something we call the actual quantity received. Now this is very important because when the item comes over to you, you have to inspect it. So this is the inspection of the consignment. Okay, now the quantity that is transferred from the other branch is indicated as 4, but when you inspect it, it could be that particular figure, or it could be less or more. So then after you have cross-checked, you can indicate the number. So maybe what you actually received was 3, which is one item less, one item short of the actual quantity that was sent. Okay, so you can look at the other product also, and then you inspect the items and see if the corresponding quantity transferred is the same as what has been received. Okay, so once we are through with that, okay, then now we come to the receiving method. Okay, now when we click on the box for each item, there are 2 options under receiving method that appears. So firstly, you can either create a new item and disable, and what that means is that the item that is coming to your shop isn't a product that you already have in your inventory, or hasn't already been listed in your inventory list. Okay, so you can create that. Now if in case you already have that product listed in your inventory, you click on add to existing product, and then this pop-up box appears. So now you choose the product to top up, that is if it already exists. So we can search for the product if you already exist here. So when you type on shoe, we realize that shoe isn't part of our product listing. Okay, so it means we do not have that. So then again, you come to the receiving method for shoe, you click on new item, and then you select create new item and disable. Now for the NASCO smartphone too, we can do the same thing. You can go to add to existing products, and then we want to be sure if we have that. Okay, so we have a NASCO smartphone 4-inch black. Okay, so yes, we have this. This is what we are topping up to. So you can click on this, and then you click on choose, and now when you click on choose, get selected there. When we come to our Acer laptop, we click on that too. So let's check our existing product to be sure if we have that. So we can search for Acer laptop, and yes, we have Acer laptop here. So we just select Acer laptop, and then we click on choose. Okay, so it adds to our existing inventory. Now okay, so now this is different. The NASCO smartphone 4-inch gold is different from the NASCO smartphone 4-inch black item. So let's correct that. Now we go to add to existing products, we search for NASCO smartphone. Okay, we already have that, so we click on this. Now when we come back to this, we really do not have that. Okay, we don't have the NASCO smartphone 4-inch gold. Okay, we don't have that. Okay, so we can just close it. Okay, and then we come back to it again, and we create a new item. Okay, that is disabled. Now disabled means that you cannot sell those items unless you go back to reactivate all of them to be able to help you to sell. Okay, so then the next column is receiving department. Now under receiving department, okay, now we want to place them under the categories, the departments they are supposed to be under. So for our departments, let's say shoe, we want to put it under accessories. For NASCO smartphone, we want to put it under electronics. For Acer laptop too, we put it under electronics. And then again for our smartphone too, we also select electronics as well. Now the receiving status is also very important. Now again, I'd like to remind us that what we are doing is an inspection. So now when we inspect the product under receive status, when you click on it, we want to know whether the items were well received or they were received with discrepancies, whether there were issues with a particular item that came, or you rejected this product. This product were rejected. Okay, so after we have inspected, let's say the shoes came with, okay, so let's say the shoes were well received. Our NASCO smartphone 4-inch gold was also well received, but our Acer laptop came with some discrepancies, so we can select received with discrepancies. And then for our NASCO smartphone 4-inch black, okay, let's say we rejected this product. Let's say we didn't want it anymore, so you select on reject this product. Okay, so now we are done with inspecting of the consignments. The next step is to now click on receive consignment from Keep Tech Enterprise. Okay, so now it tells us that all products in this transfer will be added to your inventory based on the receiving methods chosen. Okay, so we click on receive product. Okay, so it tells us that our consignment has been received and then added to our inventory, so we can go on to click on perfect. Okay, so this is the transfer summary for our consignment. Okay, so our consignment details tells us we have received the item has been received and is completed. Okay, so the received by date is successfully logged in. Now we can look at the items and then their corresponding status that comes with them. Okay, so our product name here for shoe, you realize that the quantity transferred is for the actual quantity that is added to our stock is 3. Okay, and then for our receiving status, it says well received. Okay, the same for NASCO. Receiving method was new item created and then disabled and was well received as well. For our Acer laptop, we've indicated that it was received with discrepancies. Now this is all very important for accountability and for communication purposes. And now for our NASCO smartphone, it was rejected, so we realized that the item, okay, wasn't added to our inventory. Okay, so that is that. Okay, so now we would want to go and inspect from our product list whether these items have really reflected. Okay, so now these two are new items. Okay, so we'll be able to notice that they are new items, but let's take note of the Acer laptop because we just added 5 extra. Remember before it was just 1 that was left and we added 5, okay, to the existing item. Okay, so now we click on all products. Okay, and now we can search for, so our first item was shoe. Okay, so you realize that the shoe has been reflected successfully over here. We can go over to our NASCO smartphone. Okay, alright, so we realize that the NASCO inch black has also reflected over here. Okay, so you can again search for the product to be sure that the items that we searched for have all reflected successfully. Okay, so this is all for stock transfers. Again, we looked at how to create a consignment in stock transfers, how to add products to a consignment, how to save the consignments, how to process the consignment, how to send the consignments, and finally how to receive the product. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed every bit of it. There are more of these videos that are available for you. Do enjoy yourself and have a